can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, dang, you just pop in the record immediately. There's no
Hello, welcome to episode 82.
No...
We have issues. Steven, stop interrupting me. Well, you're erupting, Steven. You're erupting. You're not really interrupting. You're an eruption of joy, and I love you. Oh no. We haven't started yet. I don't know. I just hit record just in case. I never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like last week we did miss out on a lot of pretty good content prior to hitting record.
Yeah. Well, it was all that hatred that we have just seething inside of us. You're like,
it was obviously that vitriol that we just don't show on Twitter.
The whole time we were just like, and I wish we would have said something, because the whole time we were just like, Chris Rock is the worst, and it was just like we were like, if only someone would, like, if God would come down in the form of some hand and slap the taste out of his mouth. Well, there have been two things.
I'm just gonna be honest. I gotta let my hair down, bro. Hold on.
Okay.
This is not a good look for me. I don't know if this is going to be a good look either, though.
I mean, you can't hear me right now, but first of all, you're wrong. Like, I feel like you know what you're talking about. Second of all, no, I mean, that's also a good look for you. You have two good looks, maybe more. Steven, of your top 10 looks, right, like those are like 1 through 5 and 5 through 10. Like you're killing it with both of those looks right now.
How about the asymmetrical? I look like
Kelly Kapowski, and I'm all into it. Like, I am. You can't see me right now because my downstairs mix-up is below this red, this black bar. But like, standing at attention, Steven, I am all into this. It is.
What if I do a cross braid? No, I'm not doing the cross.
I'm so jealous. I was gonna say like I try not to be self-conscious of it, because I know if I look at myself, I'm gonna freaking hate it all the time. So I try to normally the view we have it on, I can only see whoever's, I can see you. I never see myself. I only see you. So when we have it like this on gallery, I can see myself, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, at least I know a couple things, Steven. And I hate this. Like, I try not to be self-conscious, but one day I missed this button here on one of my shirts. This one right here, this particular button.
And I want the world to know the truth about this button. I didn't notice the button specifically. I just noticed that there was something off. There was some. Yeah. Your shirt was moving differently, but I didn't notice anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like,
I noticed his heaving bosom is like, no.
I was just like, I'm gonna finally see that nipple.
Give me the sweet nips. So thing one, buttons. I was like, usually not an issue. Normally, I don't know what, but occasionally what will happen is I'll be out with my son, we're playing, we're doing all this stuff, and we're about to record. I'm like, I have sweat, and I don't, so I change my shirt so we can sit comfortably and record. That's what happened. So I missed a button, whatever, it happened. That wasn't too bad of a deal, too big of a deal. Steven, my air. So when my air goes on, I have to open up the vent. When I open the vent, what happens is I freeze, first of all, which isn't great for my button situation, because I want to button up even more. I'm like, I need to put these tighter. Second thing though, Steven, I have this little curly Q situation in my hair that the wind blows and it just goes.
So are you really over there complaining about a natural crybaby? Is what you're talking about? Like,
I am, Steven. I hate it so much. It's like this little and I think there's a part of me that's like I saw my grandpa. I've seen my dad. I know this, it's gonna go. So I think I gotta hold it on. I have to hold on to it for as long as I can. I gotta keep it. Well, brothers.
But what's your mom's dad's hair situation?
I don't know. I've never seen him. I've never seen that guy.
Because that's from according to whatever we were told in 5th grade. That's what matters. I mean, I'm not sure.
I know.
I'm not sure if the science has changed.
I've heard that too, and I'll tell you that I was insecure enough that when I met my mom's half-sister online for the first time, she reached out and she was like, hey, you have another aunt, did you know this? I was like, no, who are you, stranger? Are you sure you want my money? And I was like, I'm gonna mess with you, bot. But she was actually my mom's half-sister. But my first 30 questions were just about him. I was just like, first of all, tell me all of the weird blood that's going on in his body that's somewhere in these veins, and she's like, oh yeah, he's Scottish and Irish and all these. I was like,
dude, what if we have a common ancestor?
We must, Steven. It must happen. It's good. What would he be? What would he be this?
The wildest prepper, the
wild. He's the wild doctor. Is what he was a witch doctor, Steven. We were related to an ancient.
I wildly punch stars.
So, dude, but yeah, I asked all about that, and then like the next insecure like thing that came out of my body was like, okay, but his hair situation, no. Like, how did it? And she kind of like laughed it off, and I was like, "How? No, it's great that we're bonding over this situation, but like, really, what's this? Send me a picture of like the back of his head if you can, please." She
sent you a picture. He's just got like the Bret Michaels thing going on. He's like, no. What's under the Dana, Grandpa?
Oh my god, the Dana. It's just like that Cleveland situation from Family Guy where he's falling in the tub, but it's just the bandana.
Oh no! Yeah.
No. Balls.
Don't show the truth.
All right. So, anyway, let's actually. I'm gonna put this in normal mode so I can start the show. Steven, I love you. All right. Hello, welcome to episode 82 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to take all of our issues. And Steven, I don't really have one this week.
We summon a magical spell which empowers our issues just to beat the shit out of them. Okay, that's what we do.
I don't know if we have the 30-second mark for that, but let's go with it. Yeah, we beat the shit out of our issues. Terrible. We're cursing already. We're a PG show. We're trying our best. No, but every week we get together and we take all of our life issues, all of our adult issues, all of the various nonsense that gets in the way of getting something done, and we just kind of like jump over it. You know, we take care of it. We do what we can so we can make something creative in the world. Most recently, it's been a supernatural action horror comedy comic called DEATHLESS. We launched a Kickstarter for this book. It only has a few days left, and Steven, we're nearing 300% success rate on this book.
Which is amazing, which is incredible.
I'm going to tell you, like, I'm so happy about this book, but in general, it's been such a cool, weird week. Like, the last couple of days have been like just all this energy, like sparking up, like all this cool stuff is happening. I got a DM from someone really cool that whom I admire, that I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I got a lot of coloring done. Our Kickstarter is 300%. But Steven, most of all, I keep getting random ideas that I don't know what to do with, and I can't even like do it. Steven, it's driving me crazy because it's like I guess we could do a pitches consider, like if you're familiar with our show, every once in a while we do a thing where I just tell Steven the idea that I don't think I can do anything with, but I don't know what to do with myself, because like what else am I gonna like it's a gift from the dumbest gods, but I have to be thankful. I'm not gonna look that gift horse in the mouth and get eaten.
So to the new viewers and the viewers of old, let's on the spot introduce a brand new Pitches Get Stitches.
So Steven, okay, I know you're like here's the problem with a lot of these, like a lot of them are silly jokes. A lot of them are just things that like little nuggets, like little like plot bunnies as they call them, you know, like these little nothings that pop in my brain that are just kind of like silly like punchlines or whatever. Some of them are good. Some of them might actually want to do something with. Some of them, unfortunately / fortunately, are this, Steven. I don't know what to do with this. It's an idea for 3 people, and I hate it, but I have to there's something in my body that's just like, do it. Like you know when you see the button, it says don't push the button, and you're like, I'm gonna push the freaking
I'm gonna push that button so many times.
And like, it's like if I don't pay attention to it, it'll just fester, and I'm like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, but I have to get it out there. I have to express the stupid thought just because it's like, first of all, not gonna hurt anyone. It's a free thought. There are no victims here. It is just a stupid thing, but I gotta get it out, Steven. I gotta get it out. So have you ever seen, Steven, you ever seen the movie The Thing? I don't think you have, but
I don't think I have either. But
okay. So, Steven, there's a movie called The Thing. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's John Carpenter's best movie in my opinion. I mean, like he is legend after legend. I've talked about him on the podcast before, but just like he's made. I mean, Halloween.
Mild to interrupt. Is The Thing the movie where there's 2 like Finnish or 2 people that yell like that thing's not a dog or something at the beginning of the movie? And it's like this whole thing that like if you spoke that language, you would have known the truth about the dog like way early on or something.
Pretty
like
much.
That.
Yeah.
Is that like the beginning of The Thing? Okay. So I have heard the
So the movie The Thing opens up in Antarctica. It's this base, you know, science base, and they're doing all these studies and such. Kurt Russell's in it, Keith David's in it. It's a fantastic movie. So toward the end of the movie, came out in the 80s, but they're not gonna like no major spoilers because it does end like ambiguously. The movie's about this military base, and basically this parasitic alien life form that can look like anything begins to take over the base. It begins to look like people, but not just one person at a time. It begins to sort of take over numerous bodies within the military base, so no one knows what's going on. It's a Cylon situation. It's a like no one knows if it's a Krull or not. Or Skrull, right? Skrulls are the ones who do that. There's like, you know, like no one knows if it's a Skrull or a Cylon or what's going to like who is the thing. So they try to come up with these tests where they're like, we're gonna get your blood, we're gonna put it, we're gonna poke it with a hot needle because you're like the alien blood will react because every single molecule in that thing is the creature in its entirety. So like everything, like, so the blood in a little petri dish will respond to flames, whereas our blood will just sit there and sizzle or boil, like, you know, because it's blood. So they come up with these tests, they try to figure it out, but by the end of the movie, it's like there are these two characters left, and they're sitting there, and they're in the snow, and they're kind of sharing a drink, knowing that they're both about to die, basically. So they're in the snow. So, okay, so this is what I imagine. This movie opens up, Steven. It just fades in. You just see Keith David, right? And he's in the snow, and but it turns out he was one of the creatures. And this thing, not wanting to die, is beginning to freeze in the snow, and its tendrils reach, just looking for warmth, looking for something to adhere to, looking for something to take over and consume again to continue its lifespan. And when it reaches down, it goes through the snow, and all it finds is the earth below, just rock. So it begins to just grab the rock over its body. It can't find any actual organic material, so it covers itself and shields itself as best it can. Still freezes in the snow, covered in this rocky substance. Time passes, so much time, like months, years pass. The next people come. They're like, what happened to this base? They find all these dead bodies. They find this substance that looks like it's in the shape of a man, but it's a rock. And they're, like several rocks, like sedimentary rocks, all formed together in this big crazy creature. And they're like, what is this alien creature, So they bring it into this.
It's dawning on me where this is going.
So they bring it. Okay. So let's just cut to the creature awakens, but now he's in a lab. But Steven, after being frozen for so long, all of the memories from all of the people he's consumed, or it's consumed, are coming into its brain. All of the sense memories and the like cellular memories from the various entities that it's corrupted over the years and possessed over the years are entering its mind. So it doesn't know if it's human, if it's a deer, if it's a dog, if it's this alien, what's going on, what's its real life. It has a memory of being a little girl on a bike when she's 5. She has a memory of being an old man drinking a beer with his son before he died. Like all these different memories. He's like, who am I? And just the voice of Keith David, and he's just like, well, who am I? And this doctor like kind of puts his hand on him, and it's like this really like handsome looking doctor. He has like these white streaks in his hair. He's like,
sometimes goes by Reed.
so he sits him down, and he's like, Doc, I don't know who I am. He's like, what can you tell me about my life? And he's like, it's Ben Grimm.
It's Ben Grimm.
It's Ben Grimm. So,
and the thing is, if you spoke nerd, you would have known at the beginning of the movie that they told you what it was.
Of course. So okay. Joke aside though, I'm gonna just for another second, I'll extrapolate because the reason I thought about this beyond the Ben Grimm the thing joke is okay. So then Reed Richards would study this creature who's trying to find out what his identity is / can be. Kind of coping with the fact that, or coming to terms with the fact that a portion of it did do terrible things in the past, but it also has all these memories of what it means to be human and what it can mean to be human. So he's
finally basically became something more than just a parasite.
Exactly. So it took becoming less different than human. It took becoming a rigid form that needs to be chiseled and carved rather than faking and amalgamating and becoming the affectation of a human instead of something that just looks like a human and can do that facsimile of a human. it actually is now more human as a rock creature. And it realizes that like it wants to be a better person and wants to be like live among people and make amends for what it's done and do what it can do to live among the people and try, no matter what its monstrous form may look like. It wants to do a good job, and it knows now it's not invulnerable. It's super strong. It has these abilities. It can't transform anymore because it's stuck in this rock form. However, the doctor is trying to help it, you know, like find a form that's more suitable for, you know, because of course society's going to shun him. People are going to like look down on him, and like here's this like gentle soul coming to his own, trying to become like, you know, a person. So the doctor studies him, and he realizes that there's this like genetic elasticity that can like basically form into anything. And so he's like, well, this can be used for a multitude of reasons within my scientific research. So he begins to study it, and he's like, not only can it cause the literal elasticity, it can help you blend into things. You could turn into dogs in your previous life. That means I can make everything look like, I can make a creature that can blend in with its literal surroundings. I can use your blood to create invisibility and elasticity. And he's like, this is incredible. And of course, like, so you know, so the man's like, Doc, you're getting ahead of yourself. You're going crazy. You can't just create superpowers. Like, what are you trying to do? He's like, no, we can do good with this. He's like, no, you need to do something. You need to like be able to protect people from this. And he's like, well, what are we gonna do? It's like the only way we can stop it, like that I can see, the only test is with fire of some sort. He's like, so sorry, Steven. It would be called The Thing 2, It's Clobbering Time.
So, honestly though, like low key, it's like a basically like a cooler retelling of the Fantastic Four to some extent, if they would allow the usage of the original thing.
Of course.
But like,
well, and that's what I thought. It would be so funny if like I started thinking about this because I was like, Disney is owning everything. I was like, eventually Disney's just gonna be like, how can we mix everything into our world so we can get all the money and all the merchandising and all this. I was like,
dude, when the day comes that I see Aladdin swashbuckle fighting the Thing from the Thing, like, it's just gonna be too much. I think I'm gonna be like, you know, when they were talking about that capitalism thing back when we were teenagers, I think this is what they meant. This is what was gonna happen.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. But anyway, thank you all for sitting through that nonsense. I did like stupid Fantastic Four pitch. I had to get it out. I think part of the reason that they haven't really made a great Fantastic Four movie is because the elasticity, like the stretching, looks weird. I think it's gonna be really hard to ever make that work. It's like an uncanny valley power. Like no matter what you do, it looks inhuman and it looks silly, you know? So it's, I don't know how they're going to crack that one, but
so you just kill Reed.
Pretty much.
He gets the powers and then like molecularly falls apart. Like it just doesn't manifest.
Oh, poor Reed Richards. I mean,
poor Reed Richards.
Also, I mean, wouldn't it be Dr. Fantastic?
Yeah, I mean, dude's got a degree. It's like the opposite of the Mitch Hedberg joke.
He has to, yeah.
Show that man some damn respect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mr. Fantastic has like 7 like degrees at least. He's definitely like in doctorates, probably. You know. Speaking of superpowers, Steven. Speaking of superpowers, so I've been kind of fascinated. So I go to arcades all the time. I take my son all the time to arcades, and he and I, every time we've gone, have very easily won the light game, like the cyclone or whatever it's called. Like
stopping the light.
Yeah, the light goes around. You have to stop it at a specific time.
It's usually like 3 or 4 bulbs before. If you hit stop, you basically just play it a couple times and see what the speed is, because it does vary in speed. But then you just kind of see the signatures that happen, and then you just trial and error, and then you can just slam it back over and over again, right?
So, well, okay. So here's the thing. Like he and I have been able to win it every time we go. So I just went with my son, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's daughter, and we had a great time. It was like, you know, but while we were there, the kids were like, I want that toy, and I want that toy. And we were like, we need tickets. Steven, generally speaking, kids aren't great at choosing the right games to get the best amount of tickets, because those games are often not very much fun, you know? So it's like, crap, you know? So what would happen is we'd play for a little bit, and I'd look at the tickets and I'd be like, this is discouraging. Like, this is not going to they are not going to get those toys if we leave them to their devices. So what I would do is I would take one of the cards, and I'd be like, I'd ask my girlfriend if she'd mind watching, and of course she's the best, so she's like, go win us tickets, and like, so I'd go and I'd play, and dude, I won that game just twice. Just like, I won once, I won like 470 tickets or so, and then I like missed twice. And then I got it when I did it again. And then I won 100 tickets. And
it's amazing.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, that was so fast, So I was looking up because I was like, I've always heard that these things are like slot machines where it's like, it's going to pay out with so many times, so many times. There's a full YouTube video there's a full video on YouTube. Hang on. There's a full video on YouTube where this guy creates a machine, like Mythbusters-esque machine, that perfectly times it to hit the button exactly when the light is in that spot. And it's inconsistent because the way the machine is timed, supposedly.
So it's an illusion. The game is an illusion to some extent.
Okay, so that's the thing. I think what you said was right. I think it's more about timing it 3 lights before, and it stops at I think and I think as humans we intuit that like we recognize like, wait, I didn't stop it there. Wait, I didn't stop it there. There it is. Whereas a machine will continuously hit it perfectly, but it's not perfect for an imperfect machine. Or it's so he's the machine, so the robot's not going to get it every time. But what's weird was it did get it often, so it's like it's very strange, it's very inconsistent, because the whole point of that YouTube video was to say like, look, these things are rigged, it's basically but he made it sound as if it's randomly giving it away, which would either suggest I have a magic power where I can just get it every time, or I'm super lucky. Like, I don't understand, Steven. I don't understand. I don't get how it works. What I do
what I think is happening, what it is you can't really time it perfectly unless you have some sort of intuition to the speed in which the light is actually moving. So my guess is that light probably moves in millisecond variables at different speeds each go around. So like if it goes around once, it's a little quicker, but then the next time it goes around, it's a little slower. But you don't see it because it's very minute. So I'm guessing that's why the machine would fail occasionally,
right? Because
it can't adjust for those little. But if you have the intuition to sense the speeds, like you must be sensing the speed slowing at a certain point and pressing it at the right spot. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Well, it's crazy because like the machine that this guy made, like he said, it could literally recognize the light, recognize the sensing the light within the flap of a hummingbird's like wings beat, like a single beat. Like
wow,
that's how fast. Like he's like faster than a hummingbird can beat once, which is like insane because that's like they're known to beat their wings like a ridiculous amount, so much so that they can hover in the air basically. Just like incredible. But it's just like, I don't know, it's blown my mind. I'm just like, I don't know. I remember, I don't remember ever winning that game as a kid. Like as a kid, I thought it was impossible. And as an adult, I go to it always thinking I'm going to win. Like every time I'm just like, I'm going to win this game. And I play it never takes me more than 4 tries. I get it's amazing. But I have noticed though, and I don't know what this is. It has to be just like, peripheral like anxiety and stuff, because like if other people are around watching me, it's like it's more impossible. Like I just can't freaking do it. Except it's distracting. Like when Atlas is around, if it's just Atlas and I, we'll go there. I'll win it right in front of him. Just boop, and he's like, awesome, and then he'll do it, and I'm like, that's amazing, But like with other people around, I start getting like in my head about it, and I'm like, they don't. I got to show them I can do. And it's like whole thing, and it's like I hate that performance anxiety of like just like that kind of thing where it's like I used to have that as a kid too. When I would like skateboard, I would learn these tricks and I'd be like practicing outside and I'm doing like this 360 flip and I'm like, oh yeah, I did it 6 times in a row. I'm gonna show people. I go to show my dad. I remember one time I was like, Dad, watch, I can do a 360 flip. He's like, what? You know, like, and he was kind of like, I don't know, yeah, that's hard. Are you sure? I was like, come on. We lived on the 3rd floor. And he walked all the way downstairs. And I was like, watch. And I failed. And then I failed right on my back. Like,
oh my God.
Like flat on my back, just like Jesus wept like snow angel. like
Oh,
Just the worst. And he's just like, well, I'm glad I walked down 3 flights. Yeah. Not gonna help you out. I'm gonna go upstairs now and do anything else, because let me know when you're not a failure, son. And like, it was crazy, dude. But it's weird because like I could do
performance. It must be performance anxiety to some extent.
It's just like just get in your head, But it's crazy, dude. But I noticed that you also have like superpowers when it comes to video games sometimes too. Like you have like your super crazy mashy thumb, like
yeah. And everyone would always make the most inappropriate jokes about it. But yes, yeah, of course they do. Like, oh, you do with that thumb. Like, that's not an effective way to do. I mean, what? I can't control the pressure. Like, but anyways,
Steven just destroys all lovers.
He knows where it is, and he knows. It's like a horror movie. But anyways, yeah. So like the vibrating thumb trick I have, like, I can like kind of like force my hand to vibrate, and like I don't know if you remember like the turbo controllers back in the day where you could flip a button and it would turbo. I could shoot faster than the turbo controllers.
Yeah,
like if you turn the turbo, I was like and the thing about Mega Man is you can only shoot 3 lemons at once. I call them lemons, they're pellets, but it's because they're going to be 3 lemons on the screen at a time. So if you get right up on an enemy, you've seen me do it. You just like it just goes. It's like I'm playing Contra. Like,
they're dead. It's like like when Steven plays Mega Man, you watch it and you're like, oh, this game's easy. Like that. And then
when did Mega Man get a machine gun?
Yeah. So, but like I've seen, so it's just interesting how like our bodies work and like how our senses are, and we can just intuit certain things. It's crazy, dude. But so anyway. I did that, but yeah, dude, I mean, so we did it. We got all the tickets, we got our, we got the kids, but they wanted, that's always such a good feeling where I'm like, yeah,
it's a fun time, it's an event.
Yeah, dude, it was great. I love spending time with them. It's so much fun. But dude, it's been a good week. I got to do that. I woke up this morning, Steven, and I had a DM from someone, who like, I personally like admire and like a lot. I'm just like really excited about. So Steven, I love movies. I always have. I really like indie movies. I really like horror movies. All sorts of movies, of course. So Steven, we're old now. Do you remember when Netflix?
We are old.
Do you remember when Netflix first came out and they had
and they mailed you stuff?
Yeah, they mailed you stuff, Steven. Like I don't know if some of these people might not remember, but like they used to mail things. You can get 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time. You'd mail them back. They also sold DVDs for like reasonable prices. Steven, when I was young, I was a precocious little scamp, Steven. Sometimes I made mistakes. No. But I would like occasionally. So I'll tell you. So I went on Netflix and I was like, "What is this movie? Murder Party." And so I bought it. I was like, "Oh, it's like $7." So I bought it, and then it showed up, and I'm gonna call it science, Steven. I went on the website and I was like, "I got it," and I was like, "I want to see what happens if I tell them it never arrived." So I went on the website and I was like, "I never got this," and they were like, "Oh, here's another one." And I was like, now I have 2.
And they're over there like, no one would want 2 copies of Murder Party. Like, there's no way this guy's lying, right? I have 2.
So I was like, yeah. And dude, I literally did that before ever watching the movie. So I was like, all right, well now let's watch. I have 2 of this movie. It better be good. So I put it on, and it's like this fun, weird little indie movie about this guy who randomly stumbles upon an invitation to a Halloween party. So he goes out of his way to make this really elaborate night costume out of cardboard boxes and duct tape, and it's just like a really cool costume actually, but it's just all cardboard. And so he goes to this party, and it turns out it's a group of like these artists it's like artists and art students and such who plan on murdering him. So, like, their plan is whoever shows up to this party, they're going to die. Is going to die.
And no one was dumb enough to basically take, or there was.
So, he was the one. So, yeah, exactly. So, he's the only one who shows up. But when he shows up, it's just like a series of hilarious and ridiculous events ensue where the characters in the movie begin to die that aren't him, like I don't want to spoil anything, but it's pretty funny. Like he brings this bread, like he's just like bringing this, like, I think it's banana nut bread or something to the party. And then like someone's eating it and they're like, does this have nuts in it? He's like,
yeah,
he's like tied up. Yeah, he's like tied up, and like so the guy dies. He's just like, wait, what? So it's just like crazy. Anyway, so I watched that movie and I was like, oh, this movie's awesome. So like I watched all the like bonus features and I was like, who are these people who made this? It's really cool. So then I like followed the filmmaker and I was like, oh, he made this movie called Green Room. That was really cool. And then he made, so I was like, I love this. I love when people are like making movies that I actually, really enjoy, So then I noticed like there was the same actor in both of those movies, this guy Macon Blair, and I was like, I like this guy. I was like, something, I was like, something about this guy is really cool. He's like a good actor. And then I saw this movie, Blue Ruin, and I was like, this movie is freaking amazing. Like, it was just one of those like indie drama movies that just like is really touching, but just freaking like really interesting, and it's cool and keeps your attention the entire time in the best way, even though it's like very atmospheric. It's it like keeps you wanting to get to the end of it. It's like, I can't wait to watch this. But his performance is freaking awesome. He's a really good actor. So Macon Blair made a movie. It's on Netflix called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. So I was like, I really like this movie. Like, what else? What's he doing next? So I was just like on a whim looked up what he's gonna do next, and he's gonna make freaking Toxic Avenger. They're making a reboot.
Remaking Toxic Avenger.
They're making a reboot of the Toxic Avenger, the old Trauma movie, like where the nerd gets like jumps out the windows on fire, lands in the toxic waste, and he becomes like a disgusting superhero. They're remaking that with Peter Dinklage, and yeah, he's gonna be the main character in the movie. I can't freaking wait. But Macon Blair is writing, or he wrote and directed it. It's like, that's so cool, So
and he gets to work with Peter Dinklage. That's cool too. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, but like his freaking filmography is just getting like better and better and like weirder and cooler. I love when like writers and directors and actors keep choosing cool parts. So it's just like, look at this. Like everything this guy does is cool. It's like worth. It's so great for people like me, because I'm just like, I can follow his like career and know I'm gonna enjoy whatever movie it is. It's like a director, like any director that like you start to love and you realize like, oh, they actually have some fingerprints that I appreciate. So you start looking.
Yeah, because not every. I mean, every director obviously has a fingerprint if you really look for it. But there's some directors whose fingerprints are louder, I guess, is how you could word it. And yeah, that's really awesome. It's almost like following a band at that point. Like, you like every album this band puts out. It's the same. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
It's great. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like, I have a lot of filmmakers like that, but for some reason, like recently, I rewatched that movie on Netflix, and I was like, I'm gonna look this guy up again. I need to like figure out what he's doing next, and like so I reached out to him on Twitter, as I do occasionally. I was just like, let's see if he's on there. Like I like it's one of the best places to just take a
randomly
shot.
Engage. Yeah.
Like, you take a shot and you talk to people. So I was just like, hey, congrats on Toxic Avenger. Like, hope all's well. I have a show if like you're willing to be on it. I'd love to talk to you about writing and stuff, because he's a writer who's like continuously growing and now working with like some super well-known like famous actors and like some properties that have been huge in the past and can be big in the like. The Toxic Avenger is a Marvel property for a while. Like, who knows what's going to happen with that? Like, yeah, it's nuts.
And there's plenty of Marvel characters. Like, he could very well be, writing and directing a Marvel feature at some point, like whether it be show or movie,
Yeah, dude. So it's so cool. So anyway, I reached out to him, not really knowing or expecting anything, and so I woke up this morning and he messaged me and he was like, yeah, he told me like right now they're still in like post-production of the Toxic Avenger, and he's like, when we're done with that and the movie's out, like, yeah, like get back to me and I'll have more time for that and I'll totally do, I was like, yes,
that's so cool. Yes!
We did it, Steven.
We are no mere peasants.
It's just so cool. Like for me, it's huge, because I'm just like, I want to start talking to people who are doing the things that we're trying to do and that we're doing a little bit. It's like, I want to talk to more people who make movies. I want to talk to more people who are like making, like taking steps that aren't necessarily where we are on the ladder, or the staircase.
So basically what you're saying, and to add to my peasants joke, we're trying to squire for some knights, right? I mean, that's basically what we're trying to do.
That's exactly what we're trying to do.
It's exactly what we're doing, right?
Exactly
We
need
to
to
squire.
I want people. Like, yeah, and it's, like, I don't want to like hold my cup up to any kings or anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, you're further along on this staircase. Like, what's it like up there? How did you navigate this part of the staircase? I know it's going to be different for me, you know, like it's not always the same traps and pitfalls and not always the same rewards. But it's always interesting to talk to people in various parts of the climb, whatever it may be, you know, because like we talk to a lot of people who are like in the trenches together. Like, you know, a lot of our friends, like we're all kind of in the same place. You know, we're all like starting to release books. We're all trying our best to figure out this marketing thing. We're all trying our best to like figure out what it means to have a career in writing or creativity or whatever it is. But it's just like, are there any traps or anything that we should avoid along the way? Are there any failures that we're making? Like, is there anything that like I'm overlooking right now that I should be paying attention to? You know, like someone, for instance, someone added me or followed me on Twitter and immediately sent me a DM where they were like, it was a 3-paragraph long thing, and at the end of it, it was like, buy my book, you know, like, yeah. But Steven, like, I went on their page and they have like hundreds of retweets on their like pinned post of their book, and they have all this, you know, so like, I'm like, is it working? I hate it, but I also hate all marketing. I would hate to just make a commercial. I would hate to like in my brain, it sounds like poison. I don't want to do any of it.
Because in our world, we want to meet someone, get to know them, and then convince them to buy, or like not convince them, but like basically like, hey, you're my friend. You want to support what I do? Like, that's cool. Like, I want to support what you do. So basically what we're doing is we're just like, you know, just sharing and like,
yeah. So it's like
that's how we work. We don't want to just throw stuff at people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like they deserve more than that, you know?
It's so hard to navigate, dude.
It is.
I know a lot of people have trouble with it, and I definitely have trouble with it because everyone is trying to help each other. Not everyone, but you know, for the most part, generally speaking, we're trying to help each other. We're trying to build community, but we also kind of have to be pirates about it a little bit. We have to root for ourselves above all else. Like, no matter how much we're trying to like let the water rise, you know, it's like, dude, like this week, thankfully, the magic powder #2 totally successful.
Dude, I was so happy to see that happen. That's
me too, awesome. Dude. I'm like, I can't wait. By the way, Steven, I'm gonna be in the book. I'm gonna be in I think issue 3. I'm gonna be.
That's amazing. That's cool.
I'm gonna have a speaking role in it, Steven. I'm gonna have a speaking role, I believe, in issue 3 of Magic Powder. But the book's coming out, which is really cool. So Magic Powder 2 is on its way.
Dang it, I should have got a speaking role too, so they could have had a We Have Issues moment, but
that would have been awesome, Steven. but I will say, as much as I do want to support them, if you're going to throw that amount of money at anyone right now, it should be Velour.
Yeah, it should be Velour and Tweed needs some help
like,
too.
Velour and Tweed is only a few. If you're watching this right now, I'll post the links below. These people are really cool. Their book seems really awesome. They're super ambitious, and like I just want that to be rewarded as much as we can. I know maybe it's not for everyone. Our books aren't for everyone. Your books aren't for everyone. But like, I don't know. Maybe you can get it and give it as a gift, or leave it in one of those book boxes. You know, like I've never even seen a comic book in one of those. Maybe we should start doing that. I'm gonna go find some of those freaking book boxes and leave Play It Again just for like freaking karma, because like, we need to get books out there. We need to get, you know, we have those free book, like take a book, leave a book type of boxes all over the place. They're in like parks and like all, you know, library and everywhere. We should leave comics in there. So go support Velour and Tweed. Get the first issue. You know, they're releasing 1 through 10. But if you don't like it or don't want it, just go put in one of those books and someone will find it and someone will love it.
Someone will love it. You know, maybe, you know, it's not for you, or maybe it is though. I mean, why not just invest in some other indie creator that's trying to get out of the trenches too? We're all just trying to fight, right?
That's all it is, man. And like, I want so bad to just like continuously build a community and never feel like because there's always going to be some form of competition, mostly in like time expenditure, you know, where it's like I can't necessarily pay attention to your project because I have to focus on mine, you know. So it's like we're all competing for breath all the time with ourselves and like death, you know. It's like we're racing the clock of, you know, mortal coil and such, you know. Like there's only so much we can do with our given time. But some of that is supporting others as much as we possibly can with the allotted time we give to that particular thing. So like, if you're going to support anyone, if you're, looking for something to throw a little bit of extra money at, if you have some money from, taxes, or just like feeling generous and don't want to go out for like the extra Starbucks or whatever, just throw $5 at Velour and Tweed, because they're freaking close. They're getting closer. Thankfully, Magic Powder is like well ahead. I say if that book sounds interesting, throw your money at that, because they're also really cool. But like, I want to see Velour and Tweed succeed, and they only have a couple of days left. So I think by the time
it gets to like those nail biting moments,
and it's like I'm really hoping, like I'm rooting for him, dude. I know the book will come out eventually, no matter what. Like, I know it. I can see that they're gonna work hard to like do something, and like maybe they'll relaunch and try again. But I want them to make it. I wish we could help more. I hate that we can't. Like, there's only so much anyone can do, But anyway, like it's crazy, dude. Like, we're all trying. We're all trying to like write. We're all trying to draw. We're all trying to like we're hustling every day. We're all hustling, But we're also the readers, we're the collectors, and the so it's hard, man. It's really hard to navigate, because you see everyone, you see them reading books, you see them like, with movie posters, and like, I made a movie. I'm like, okay, but if everyone gets in my face about it, I don't know which one to watch, So
yeah.
How do you,
especially stuff like, because I mean, dedicating time to digesting all of that literature, all that film, all that, it gets tough, man. You're right, especially as parents, as employees, as spouses, as partners, whatever it may be. Like, life is very demanding, especially with the age we're at, so it's difficult. I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, dude. So thank you all, I guess, is the main point of that ramble, is just like, thank you for choosing us. Like, if you chose us in this moment to give us any of this time to listen to our podcast, thank you. Hopefully you'll support our friends and like help us build this colony. Steven, that's another thing I feel like we've been letting slip, and I'm going to get to it next week. I'm going to build a cult colony. A colony, Steven.
It's not a cult. It's a colony, Anthony.
It's definitely a colony.
And it's going to have ostriches.
Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit more about building a colony. But this week, Steven, how did you do this week?
So I wanted to do 2. I did this page, which was awesome, and it was liked by Kevin Smith. So, I mean, you take and do with that what you want. But no, this page, because I referenced Clerks and I tagged him, so I basically forced him to like this page. I'm pretty proud of. I love the perspective on the bicycle sequence. I love the hands, the profile hands, and all that. But then this page, I actually got pretty far on. That first panel actually took me about 2 hours, if I'm honest. That building, yeah. I spent some serious time on that building for no reason, but it looks good though. I mean, but it does sell it. Like, what I'm noticing versus Deathless versus Play It Again is I relied a lot on colored backgrounds and like blank walls and Play It Again, but Deathless, there's so much going on. And like, I was so worried that the details would convolute or busy it, but it actually just makes the whole thing look better.
I definitely feel like the more you overwhelm an eye with art, the more we appreciate things. Where it's like, because especially since you're really good with focusing on subjects anyway. So it's like the main subject is still there. You're forcing perspective in a way that's leading the eye in a really, perfect way, and helps the narrative. But like, dude, it's overwhelming in a beautiful way, So it's just like, we're seeing all the detail, and it's great. It's definitely better than I was actually just looking at my Bullet and the Beast book, because I'm going to put it up on Webtoon just to try to see if anyone wants to read it.
See if that works out. So yeah, like, I spent like all this time on this building, and this building looks great, and the bricks look awesome on it and everything, but like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be cool. And then like, there's a lot of cool like expressions going on with Douglas and his douchebag boss. But yeah, so I'm almost I'm working final inks on the second page. So I got pretty far this week.
Oh, that's awesome. I finished 1 page this week. I think it looks pretty good, but I didn't get that much done. However, this week, Steven, is the week that my son goes with his mom, and I happen to be off tomorrow.
That's amazing.
So that's off.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be off, and I'm going to have all day to color and do stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to definitely aim for 2 pages this week. What are you doing this week?
I'm going to finish. So I'm on 15 now, which is pretty crazy. I mean, like, I think about like Play It Again, and I was not like, by the time Play It Again's Kickstarter was over, I think I was still drawing page like 18 of 37. So like, Yeah, this book is like really, so I'm gonna finish page 15, and then 16 is gonna be a hard one because 16 is the various splashes of Deathless's past lives.
Dude,
so
that's gonna be oh, that page is gonna be so good.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be one of those pages where I'm going to have to spend extra time on it. It's probably going to be a 10-hour page or maybe even a 12-hour page, but it'll definitely be worth it in the long run. I just got to figure out how I want to lay it out. I have a few ideas of how I want to do it. I got to do some test runs, and then that's going to probably be most of my Saturday. So,
oh yeah, dude. I mean, well, it's crazy. Like, I feel like it's worth it. I mean, for me, it's, you know, like when I sit there and I'm coloring and I realize like I've been coloring for 5 hours, you know, like on these days, like when my son goes with his mom and I'm like, I'll just sit there and I won't move. I'll put something on TV. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm going to watch Moon Knight.
It comes out tomorrow, doesn't it? Are they doing 2 episodes or just 1?
Oh, crap. I don't know.
I hope it's 2.
I hope it's 2. I hope it's 2 because I'm going to be home all day. It's a perfect Wednesday. It would be perfect. I wish they would just drop the whole thing like they should. They won't. I know they won't, but like they should just drop the whole thing. Let me watch it and consume it all while I'm coloring. Like it'd be amazing. But I'm gonna watch that while I color. I can't freaking wait. But when I do that, I'm like, I have that thing in me where I'm just like, I've been doing this for 5 hours. I could have done so many things. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, and just like I go through the whole cycle of like, and then I look at it and I'm like, this is going to be a finished book in no time, you know, like, and then we're going to have it forever.
And that's what's hard about comics and that's what's hard about any project that takes any sort of length of time is the human in us doesn't really want to like, the human's like, oh my God, this wasted time. But like, or like, how long is this going to take? And that's the thing about comics. And that's not why everyone doesn't make comics because unless you find a simple style, like a very simple, like New York comic strip style, you're going to be spending countless hours. Like, and if we even we're actually like kind of condensing steps. I mean, like if I actually had to rough into pencils, into inks, into flats, into shades, into, that's why those people, Marvel pencilers make 100 and something a page and inkers make 100 and something a page. Like they're paying these people lots of money to like spend the time to get this stuff done. So we're just basically front loading it as much as we can and getting as much done as we can in hopes that we'll be acknowledged at some point, you know?
Yeah, I think so far so good. I mean, you know, our first book is done really well. People seem to love it and like really like it. This book, a lot of people seem really interested and really excited about it, which is really cool. Also, Steven, we haven't mentioned, we hit our second stretch goal, which means
is awesome.
Everyone who gets a physical book gets 2 art prints, including this thing. So they get the villain print and that, and barreled stickers, which I have to order because, well, first we have to design, but yeah, pretty awesome.
I do have that one design with the shadow. I just gotta like thicken some of the lines. You said thick, but and then I gotta probably reformat these prints to try to make them like 11 by 17 for a simpler print.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, but I think it's all going really well so far. If you haven't backed our Kickstarter, the link is definitely below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, thank you. Thank you so much. If you can, we would really appreciate it if you went to youtube.com/wehaveissuespodcast and hit the subscribe button. It looks like it's over, I don't know where it is. Probably over here. I don't know. It might be, you know where it is? Right there.
You got to Thor smash it, remember? I mean, we were doing this for a little bit. I just completely forgot about it. You got to Thor smash that sub button, okay?
You can hit, there's a cute little ostrich over there somewhere. There's a cute little ostrich.
Pet the ostrich.
Pet the ostrich, see what happens. Ooh. No, but thank you all so much. If you've already backed our Kickstarter, thank you. Know that like we really appreciate the heck out of you, and we can't wait to get this book to you. I think you're all gonna love it. Let us know if you have any comments or suggestions or requests for like future videos. Otherwise, just know that we love you. Thank you so much. We'll definitely see you next week. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been episode 82 of We Have Issues. We did it, Steven! Yeah. We still have a few days left. It would be amazing if you would... hang on. Excuse me, I have a hair in my mouth. I have to get it. It is killing me.
Keep my hair out your fucking mouth!
I got
it. I'm sorry. I didn't even mean the double joke there. Actually, I was just, like waiting for you to say something I can say. Keep it out of your mouth, but
that's amazing.
That's for Patreon subscribers.